Well, hello, travelers. How are you all doing today? Ye blessings! Thank you so much for pressing the play button. Please feel free to stay and to join the others. The mathematical wizards will restore your energy while you are here to learn. It is great to have you. I am Johnny, your host with HomeCountry Mathematics. I do truly appreciate you. Let's learn some math. Shall we? Ye wonderful learning individuals. Okay, let us continue. We are doing some short, quick problems with fractions. These are improper fractions. We are currently dividing two fractions together. Let me show you how easy it is to work with fractions when you are using division. Here is the problem. 5/6 divided by 2/3. Working with fractions, whether you are multiplying or dividing, it truly is super easy. Let me show you how. So, we begin with the first fraction. It remains unchanged. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this division symbol. How do we do that? Well, that's simple. All we need to do is flip this fraction. So, when we flip this second fraction, we change the sign from division to multiplication. We now have 3/2. Oh, that is so nice. So nice. So now we have 5 multiplied by 3, 6 multiplied by 2. The greatest thing about multiplying fractions is all you have to do is focus on the numerator, multiply those together, and then focus on the denominator and multiply those together. It really truly is that easy. Okay, but we can quickly reduce to save us some work in the end. Quickly, I want to share with you, I highly recommend, if you haven't done so yet, I highly recommend you study your multiplication or times table. It truly will help you solve your mathematics problems so much quicker and with ease. Good luck on your studies. We all support you. Okay, so we ask ourselves, what do we know? We know 3 times 1 equals 3. And we also know that 3 times 2 equals 6. There's our what's called a GCF, greatest common factor. They're just big fancy words, people. What we're looking for is the largest number that we could take out. Okay, so let me show you. The 5 remains unchanged. We're basically taking the 3 and breaking it into 2 numbers, which is 3 times 1. They mean the exact same thing. Okay? The 2, I'm just going to move here, and it's okay, because when you're multiplying, if you're multiplying numbers together, you're always going to, as long as everything's done correctly, you will get the same answer. So wherever you put the number does not matter, as long as it's in the same position, which is in our denominator area. So now I'm going to take this 6 and break it into 2 numbers, which is 3 multiplied by 2. Again, it means the exact same thing, right? Okay. So this is great. This is called factoring. And now we have 2 numbers that are common that we could divide each other by. Essentially, that's what we're doing. So the 3's become canceled and become 1. That's exactly what's happening. So now what we're left with is 5 times 1 and 2 times 2. Whoops. Which is 4. Now you can check your answer if you're allowed to use your calculator. 5 divided by 6 times 3 divided by 2. And I get 1 1/4. Now, so that you understand, we have an improper fraction, okay? That's what this is. We want to turn it into a mixed fraction so that when you actually do the calculation on your calculator, it'll still work out the same. Even if you go 5 divided by 4, you will get the same answer. But how do we change our improper fraction to a mixed fraction? That is easy. So I'll give you a quick example. Let's say we had 11 divided by 4. Okay? And we have 5 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 11? Well, what we want to do is make multiples. If we go 4 times 1, that's 4. That's too low. If we go 4 times 2, we get 8. We're getting, whoops. I wish I had a pen doing this. So we get 8. We're getting closer to 11, right? If I go 4 times 3, that gives us 12, correct? That's too much. 12 is greater than 11, okay? So, for this example, I would be putting 2. And then the next thing we do is we go 11, subtract 8. Because we went 4 times 2 to get us to 8. Now we go 11, subtract 8, gives us 3. That is going to be... Hold up. 2, 3, 2, what? Oh, I'm being silly. I'm thinking of this answer and my mind was thinking, am I doing this wrong? No, I am fine. I had to remind myself that I'm working on a different problem. Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, I can chuckle at myself. It is fun. So, yes, the answer is 3, and our denominator always remains unchanged. I do apologize for doing that extra example, but I wanted you to clearly understand how this works. So, if I go 4 times 2, well, 8 is greater than 5, right? That's too much. So I have no choice but to go 4 times 1. So there's our 1. And now this next step is to go 5, subtract 4, which equals 1. That's going to be the answer for our numerator. And our denominator always remains unchanged. So it's just a matter of bringing the number below. That makes sense? I hope so. If you'd like me to do a couple of videos on converting improper fractions to mixed and mixed fractions to improper, simply just hit the like button and show the support, and I will do that for you. Please stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and good luck with your studies.